So, as part of putting this back together, I'm going to try and blue it and see the contact area. I didn't do this before. I'm just using a Sharpie pen because I saw online some people use the blue Dykem fluid, some people use blue Sharpies. I have blue Sharpies. I don't know if it's a Dykem fluid, so I'm going to try that first. Spoiler alert, it seems like it worked. This whole process is a lot of repetition and back and forth and try again, especially when you're new, like me. But I think it worked overall at the end. I ran into issues, as you'll see, but that's why it's a video, right? You cover all the good stuff and the bad stuff. So I tried the blue Sharpie test, just a wide tip Sharpie, and blued up both shafts. And I probably should have left out these wipers, but I didn't, because that's part of when it clamps, it holds those things. Yeah. On this side, which is the non-pulley side, it looks like that, which is pretty blue on both sides, and there's some blue in the middle, but it's blue on both. On the top cap, there's a couple little blue streaks, and that's it. Like blue streak here where there's a wear mark, blue streak there where there's a wear mark. On the pulley side cap, there was lots of blue on the end which gets hottest, which is the closest to the pulley, which kind of makes sense that the top cap is pressing more here than here. But there's a little bit the whole way across, and there was one little dot on this end. And on the bottom, again, I should have not put these wipers in. But there's blue the whole way across on the bottom side. A little bit less on here, and some scrape marks, but there's blue most of the way across. So I'm going to do it I'm going to do the test one more time. I'm going to wipe stuff off with the rag, maybe add more blue Sharpie. Take these wipers out, leave the spacer blocks in, but take the wipers out to try and see if that works a little bit more clearly, and try again. So here's the second round. Again, cleaned it up, put more bluing on, trying again. And this time I took those little side felt things off. Hopefully that will work better. And it seemed like it worked a little bit better. But again, just same process, get things sorted, and I eventually redo some of those little cardboard things. You got to keep those in order, and some of the things moved out of order, but again, you'll see that later. Well, I haven't taken it apart again yet after bluing it without the little wipers in. But one thing I did notice, and I had been wondering, is if this is actually tight, and you probably can't see, but it pulling up on the shaft moves the head for this left side. This side is snug. This side, I had taken one of the layers out on one of the sides and replaced it with thinner cardboard. So I think I'm going to have to, well, one, these pieces may not be in the right location, so I may flip things around, but I think I'm just going to try and make a set of thinner cardboard for here as well. And then just see what's going on with it. See if that makes any difference. Plus, when I take it apart, I'll see how it looks bluing wise. But since this is loose, we're not going to get a proper top display. The bottom should be okay, but the top won't display right. And this one was nice and tight, so this should display good. Let's do it again. I was back and forth on should I leave all these things in, but some people like the whole process, so yeah. Okay, this is after the second batch, and it looks like just there's a little bit along this edge. There's none on the rest of it, so I'm not sure why that's there. That may have come from some of the cardboard pieces, but it looks like in here there is blue all along, both there and some in there. Not a whole lot here. Well, I know what this, because I left the oil thing in there, and that's why the center part may not be as blue, or some of it may have gone over. Maybe I'll try and take that out for the next run after I make a thinner cardboard for this side. The pulley side on the top, it really only shows on this front edge where that's where the shiny marks are. There's shiny marks, wear marks. And this is right next to the pulley, and this is the side that gets the hottest. This side doesn't, there's a difference in temperature according to the numbers when I did the test from this side to this side. It's a noticeable difference, and that would be why there's like a little stripe there and a bunch on this edge. And you can see here as well, there's a bunch. It not only blued, but it sort of wore the blue off. So maybe I spun it too much. But there is a couple spots of blue all along. So I think on this pulley side, on the bottom, it's fairly good. Take this oiling pad out so I can have a better, drier test. I'm going to make thinner pads for the non-pulley side, and then we'll try again. And here we go again. This time I'm making replacement cardboard pieces. And fast, because most people will never have to do this, and the rest of the people probably don't care. But maybe they do. I could be wrong. But in any case, it worked a lot better with the cardboards, although I did have to, as you see there, go back in and reorient them. And I also had to make another one for the left side, so there's 2 little flat pieces on each. And one more time. Lots of repetition. Alright, well, after having swapped out one of the thicker ones on each side on this end, similar to what I had done over here, I now get on the shaft side some lines here that are thicker, so that's not horrible. Not too much here, but that's on the top, so realistically you'd want it on more on the bottom than the top anyway, but at least this time it's clear out on the end, so it's holding it tight and it's not moving anymore, which it was moving slightly before, which I couldn't really tell. I probably got things backwards, but it's fine. It's better now. This one, we have blue the whole way along this side now instead of just here, so it's further along the top. And you can see on the shaft that there's at least some coverage most of the way along. I mean, there's lines on here down across, not clear over here, but down across. So, yeah, let me get the shaft out, and then we'll see what it looks like with the shaft out. Okay, well, on this side, there is blue most of the way along still. And there's no oiler thing here to smear it and get the results kind of weird. So there is blue most of the way along, so that's a promising thing, I think. And it may just be that it dried too much along this edge to wipe off, because this is where the wear marks are on the shaft. Or I should say, in this portion of the babbitt. On the opposite end, it's on this side, the wear marks. Oops. Helps if you have the thing in frame. So there's wear marks in the cap in this area where, and here, where we see there was bluing. So that's hopefully good. This one, we have some blue the whole way along with wear marks in. It's all along here and here. So I'm hoping that's better. It actually rubbed enough that the blue sort of went away. That's why the shaft looks clean. So I probably was spinning it too much again. But I ended up doing it twice while I was fixing this cap versus just once. I probably should have done it once each time. I think it's still a good thing though that there is blue pretty much the whole way down. So I think we have good coverage on this one. The coverage is still mostly on the end that gets hot for the cap part. With the original pieces, you could see there's that thicker lip that sticks up. And that was supposed to be outside of the metal area, like outside here is where that thicker part was supposed to go. So like for example, since this goes on this side, it slides down until the thicker part is above, and then that kind of locks in. So this is now going to be tighter. It'll hold better. Cleaned it up, get the bluing off again. Put the oil-soaked felt down. Well, I need to clean this out because there's a bunch of gunk down in there. Let's see. Similar to what... Yeah, not as much as on the other side, luckily. But there is still some. Yeah. So I'm going to clean that up and then put it back together. Hopefully not have to fight with this part. Because I also have the 30 weight oil to put in. So we'll see. I'm glad I didn't put the new oil in yet. This was the 10W30 oil. I put a blob and it's still running down the cup. I dribbled some of the new oil and it all ran down to the bottom already. So it said 30 weight on the website when I ordered it from Amazon, but I have to go double check because it doesn't say 30 weight on here. It says ISO 100 non-detergent oil, and it says 2M3071620 there, and it says ST1253 here. But that runs way easier than my 10 weight, so I'm not putting that in yet. The head's ready, but I'm not putting that in yet till I verify, because I need thicker oil, not thinner. And here I'm just doing the final cleanup and assembly, and making sure everything is all sorted, and making sure that it tightens correctly, and then installing it. I'm sure it'll come back out again, but for now, it's all put back together.